Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV. Today is the day. We are here for the finals of the U.S. Open. But before that, we got the pregame show here on Bowl TV. So thank you for joining us from remotely in Texas and from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. My name is Aaron Smith, and for about the next hour or so, we are going to be talking all about the U.S. Open show upcoming in just an hour, 2 p.m. Eastern on FS1. So before we send it to Randy, to Rob Stone, and to Kimberly Pressler, we're going to chat here on Bowl TV about the 5 finalists, just the week in general. We're going to give away some grand prizes as well on bowltv.com. But before we get to all that, let's meet the Bowl TV team that's going to be joining us today. We're going to kick things off from the NBS. Jason Thomas is going to be joining here. There's JT.
Hey, good morning, Aaron Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to see a major champion crowned. Coming up next, we're going to have Matt Cannizzaro joining remotely from Texas. There's Matty. What's up, Matt?
What's going on, guys? Looking forward to it.
And then finally, we have our man on the scene, Inside Bowling's Mike Flanagan, running around the NBS, getting some cool stuff. So we're going to throw it to Mike real quick for right now. Then we'll bring him back a little bit later. There he is. Michael, hello.
Hey, guys. How's it going this morning? Looking forward to bringing you some interviews down here. But the one thing we didn't talk about all week being U.S. Open week, who do you think you are? I am. It's just not the same without PDW. I got my sunglasses this morning down here. Shout out to Pete, 5-time U.S. Open champion. We miss you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Mike. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. We are moments away, and we're going to bring up another shot here. There it is, the set. It's ready. They're getting ready for the show. It's going to be happening in basically an hour, but we got so much to talk about in this next hour. First off, our 5 finalists who will be competing throughout the event. Our opening match is going to feature Christian Ascona taking on Jason Sterner. The winner takes on Anthony Nair, the young 18-year-old standout looking to make history today. Jacob Buttriff, the 2-time runner-up, awaiting in the semifinals, and then Chris Vi, who has made a ton of major shows, but for the first time, and he mentioned it in the interview that we had available on social media just an hour or two ago, saying he's just really happy about not having to bowl in the first match. He's always had to bowl in the first match. So he's improved his position. He's the number 1 overall seed and 1 win away from the green jacket at the U.S. Open. And there's another look at the practice pair, Chuck Gardner, as you can see, as well as they get ready to loosen up before the show. So, guys, we'll head back to that shot in just a little bit. But, early impressions of just how this stepladder final kind of shaped up. Once again, it came down to the final game. We saw a lot of jockeying in that position round. Chris Vi taking over the top spot, moving into the lead for the very first time. Sam Cooley making another run, falling just short again. Anthony Nair solidifying his spot. Just so many things happening in that final round. What are you guys looking forward to in this upcoming stepladder finals?
Yeah, I mean, before I give you my prediction, and I'm sure we'll go through the thing, and I'll give you guys one last chance to out-predict me. It's been a little rough for you guys going against me, and I think I won the fantasy game too, which we'll get to a little bit later. But it's been probably the most unpredictable U.S. Open ever that I can remember, at least. Everybody thought it was going to go one way, especially after qualifying ended. The last round of qualifying, the last squad of the last round was like pandemonium. It was like the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. The ball reps were running around. Guys were shooting 270s all over the place, and numbers that we thought were in soft ended up missing the cut. So that was pretty crazy. And then match play, I think Nick Hoagland came on last night, was a little surprised at how well the players were able to hit them. I mean, there were scores, but they were still tricky. I mean, you still had to, bowl well, and there were still tricky pairs. And it was like an epic game of Mario Kart last night. It was just crazy watching the players jockey for position. 300 games. Packy Hanrahan almost bowled 2 on the same pair. It was a lot of fun to watch. Again, probably one of the most unpredictable U.S. Opens I've ever seen.
And Matt, before we get to you, we have Christian Ascona lined up with Mike, so let's get to him, and then Matt we'll get your observation. So, Mike, talk to us.
Hey guys, here with Christian Ascona. Christian, man, you had such a good look with that purple ball, throwing it to the gutter on some pairs where you had that bounce, and then on the other pairs, just tighten up your angles a little bit. What do you think that it's going to be like today bowling on TV? Are you going to be able to play the same line?
Based on what we saw in practice, it seems like they're going to be pretty similar. It seems like strategies are going to be pretty close to the same for most bowlers. And yeah, it's just going to be about, staying in the moment and making some good shots.
Christian, you're a PBA Tour champion. You've won before, but this is a major. What's the difference from this one compared to when you won before?
It's the same process. It's going to feel different if I win, but the process is the same. Just trying to focus on that. Trying to throw the same shots as best as I can, and after 10 frames each game, hopefully I'm winning.
Your bowling balls today, just a purple hammer, or do you have anything else you might possibly be using?
Black hammer and 2 different purple hammers.
Okay, no reactive resin at all, you think, on the pair today?
As of right now, no, but it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
It is.
What would you go to if it wasn't your thing? Which ball?
Obsession Tour, more than likely.
Okay. Well, I think we'd all be pretty puzzled if you ended up using that ball on TV today. Any questions from my guys up in the booth there?
Yeah, I got a question for you, Christian. It seems like the last couple of blocks, you got out of the gate a little slow. Is there anything you're going to do to try to turn that around? Because you got to get through that first match in order to continue on.
Yeah, I mean, I think last night I figured something out. I started off a little better than the first 2 blocks of match play. It's just about noticing that the lanes are really slick to start. I was just not paying enough attention to how much I really needed to stay slow and go through my process and hit the ball hard enough. So I think I should be better now.
All right. Well, good luck today, man.
Thank you.
All right, folks, there we go. Mike Flanagan grabbing players. He'll be doing that throughout the course of the broadcast once again. And folks, we are about less than 55 minutes out. I'm going to be looking at my watch a lot. But while I look at my watch, we're also counting down the Bowl TV promo. Yes, the VIP special, $49.95. I know we talked about it last night. That was coming to an end. You know what? You're going to have one more chance to pick it up if you haven't done so already. So the Super Promo VIP special offer, $49.95. Just a couple hours left. We're going to have a post-game show after the show. It will still be available through that, but then after the post-game show, it'll be your last opportunity to pick up a year of Bowl TV for $49.95. So we got that coming up. It's going to be great. So if you missed out on that opportunity, you still got one more chance. Get it in there, folks. Matt, we talked to Christian there. He's going to have the long trek through him or Jason Sterner if they want to win this title. Just tell us some of your impressions and of how the stepladder finals shaped up.
Sure. First and foremost, we're all bowlers here, right? So we understand what's happening out there. We understand the excitement as fans. You can't beat what happened last night in the position round. That's what we live for, over 56 games, of course. So it became very exciting. And now from our perspective here as storytellers, again, 5 great storylines in the top 5. So we can't lose today on this show. We spent enough time with the players traveling and at events, and we know the emotions, and certainly all of this is very meaningful to all 5 guys for different reasons. So no matter what happens, it's going to be a great opportunity to talk to them and hear what it means and how special it is, and just so many different ways we can go, and there won't be any lack of excitement for sure. We've already seen that. Chris Vibe making an amazing run up the standings, nearly out of it at the end of the cashers round, shoots 800 plus to get into match play, and then shoots up the standings, including a 300 game to get the top seed. Already his best finish in PBA competition. He's had some struggles on TV. He's bowled well, but hasn't been able to win. Got a couple victories, but no titles to show for it. Could that first one be a U.S. Open title? We'll see. And then, of course, the left-hander, Anthony Nair, would be just 5 days shy of being the youngest PBA champion on the tour. So phenomenal performance there. Would be the youngest major winner, beating Anthony Simonson by almost a year. So keeping an eye out for that. Of course, joining his dad, Andy, in the winner's circle. That would be pretty sweet for that family as well. Jacob Butchoff, what can we say about him? 2 heartbreaking runner-up finishes after leading by hundreds and hundreds of pins. Everything is different this time for him coming into this event. So we'll see if the mindset is different. He looked at the past results, realized what success the number 2 seed has had in recent years. So that's going to be in his mind rather than being the front runner and wondering if he's going to fall short again. So totally different approach for him this time. Can't wait to see it. And then our last 2 finalists, Jason Sterner, of course. We saw his hand at the Masters, and he persevered through that. Had some great advice along the way. Has bowled nearly 100 games during these 2 events at the National Bowling Stadium. It'll take 4 more wins to take home his first major title. That would be pretty awesome as well. And then Christian, of course, representing Puerto Rico, would be the first major title for the island. He's already the only Puerto Rican to win a PBA Tour title. So much there, so meaningful for him. So, again, I'm voting for the storylines. Of course, knowing these guys so well, personally invested to an extent, but here to be a fan and tell the stories as well. Can't wait.
It's going to be great, and we are, folks, once again, just minutes away from the excitement of the FS1 broadcast. And, over the course of the week, JT, you mentioned it, how much you've kicked our butts in predicting things. So let's, we'll go to our panel here. We've watched a whole bunch of bowling. We've seen the trends. We've seen this oil pattern, this 42-foot oil pattern now for, what are we at, 32 games now? So they're familiar with it. They know, obviously, the pressure of TV is going to be coming up. The U.S. Open, the green jacket, all that kind of all coming into it. But how do you guys see this show shaping up today on FS1?
Well, I think I should go first, right? Because, I don't need the advantage of listening to what your guys' prediction is. So I think at this point, I need to handicap myself a little bit, and I'm going to walk through each match. We did it for the Masters. I got one of the matches wrong. I blame Jason Sterner's thumb for that. But I'm going to give you the game-by-game breakdown of what I think is going to happen on this show and who I think is going to win. Matt, to your point, my heart really doesn't mind whichever storyline. They're all great. So I'll be happy to see whoever wins this show get their U.S. Open title. But here's what I think from the brain standpoint is going to happen on the show. I think our first match, Christian Ascona versus Jason Sterner. Jason Sterner's going to take that one. I think he's going straighter up the lane. He's been a lot stronger out of the gate than Christian has throughout the 4 blocks on this particular pattern. So I think he's going to advance through that first match. I think he's going to win match 2 as well against Anthony Nair. I think Nair would be a fantastic story. I think he's got all kinds of game. I think he's going to be a multi-time champion on this tour and have a legendary career. But I think the nerves are going to get the best of him. And I think Jason Sterner is going to move on to the semifinal and take on Jacob Butchoff. I think Jacob Butchoff is going to take that next match. He has just been absolutely rock solid all week long. And I feel like he's going to be able to make the little fine-tune adjustments that he'll need to make, after Anthony bowls on the pair and kind of changes them a little bit with the transition. But I think Jacob's going to take that match, and I think Jacob is going to go on to knock the monkey off his back and take down Chris Vi. I think Chris Vi, there might be some indecision there. He bowled fantastic all throughout the match play. He really dominated on this pattern, but he threw urethane for a lot of the blocks and then switched to reactive late. And I think there might be a little bit of indecision there because he might be kind of in between what he wants to do. If he can commit to what he wants to do and bowl well, he can win. But I think Jacob's going to take home the U.S. Open title today.
All right, Matt, you're next.
All right. Again, all good thoughts, and I think we win no matter what. But looking at the stepladder and the experience level and just the week that everybody had, I think this is Chris Vi's week. He has proven to be kind of a double threat, as you mentioned, with the urethane and the reactive. And if he and the ball reps keep a close eye on how things are transitioning, especially with two left-handers ahead of him on the show, taking advantage of those warm-up shots, I think he makes the right decision. Goes out there aggressively and confidently and finally gets it done here. And I think that he's taking on Anthony Nair in the championship match. I just think Nair will get an opportunity to bowl against Butchov, and he's going to outstrike him. He's just a little more powerful. I think he throws some pins. A couple messengers are the difference in that match. And then Nair and Vi for the title. And then Experience wins out. And Chris Vi takes home his first title, and it's a major.
All right, we're going to bring Mike Flanagan in for his predictions here for the show. Mike, welcome back.
Hey guys, I have a pretty strong opinion on this. You know, we've been talking about the MVPs of the tournament. You know, we've been talking about the two tournaments that we've had here, and it's Jason Sterner and Chris Vi who have both made each one of the shows. So I believe that Jason Sterner today is going to redeem himself from what happened last week, and he is going to make his way through the stepladder, and he is going to take on Christopher Vi for the title. And Jason Sterner is going to beat Chris Vi with all that momentum and understanding what the pair is doing. And we're going to see Jason Sterner lift the trophy here today for his first major.
All right. Thanks, Mike. We're going to let you get back to it as we hear bowling balls now. All right. And I guess that's up to me now for my prediction. And folks, if you're watching on Bowl TV with us, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, this is the time. Who do you think is going to win the U.S. Open? Leave it in the comments. And once again, folks, we mentioned giveaway. After I complete my prediction here, we're going to start our first giveaway. You have to be on bowltv.com, though, to pick it up. We're giving away a Bose speaker to one lucky person watching on bowltv.com. If you are not a part of the Bowl TV community, you only need a login. It takes about 2 minutes to do, so you'll have time to get there. Once it happens, there'll be a prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. There'll be a countdown, and then another prompt. The giveaway will have begun. Submit entry. All you have to do is hit the submit entry button. So that's going to be in just a couple minutes. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you got time to get over to bowltv.com. When we just last week, we did this same exact show, but a little bit different. It was the Masters. As Mike mentioned, we had two familiar faces, who have been in both stepladder finals, Jason Sterner and Chris Vi. I said in that particular instance, I thought if Chris Vi made it out of the first match, he would make the run through the stepladder finals and win. He was my prediction, my wild card, and I kept saying, he continues to put himself in position to win. At some point, you're going to break through. And I think today is the day for Chris. He's going to have the opportunity. I think the good thing for him is that we have seen, he's been able to strike a bunch with reactive and with urethane. So, you mentioned the indecision. I don't think there's a bad decision. So whatever he's most comfortable with, I think, is going to be the key to him to make this happen, to win this title. I think it's going to be against Jacob. I think potentially I'm not going to go too deep into those other matches, but I think Jacob's going to find a way to get that initial win. And unfortunately for him, I think today is Chris's day. So I think Jacob coming away with a third runner-up finish. I think Chris Vi gets his first PBA Tour title. But as Matt, he said, we're going to be cheering for whoever wins this one. All these guys are fantastic bowlers, but amazing individuals as well. So we've gotten the chance to know them, to talk to them throughout the week here on Bowl TV. And just great guys, great individuals. So we're ready for a treat for that regardless. Someone amazing is going to win this title. But I'm going to go with Vi.
Additional question for you guys. We've seen 4 patterns this week at the U.S. Open. High scoring, low scoring, medium scoring. That's the idea. It's a true test of versatility. And Chris Vi proved that he can perform across those 4 patterns in 56 games. This final pattern they saw for 32 games, and it was pretty high scoring. We had a few 300s, some big numbers. What do we see on the show today? Is it another high-scoring affair with the TV lights and the pressure and the red oil and all of the factors? Or do we get another low-scoring barn burner as we saw in the Masters title match where it came down to a spare or two in the final frames?
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. And the other thing that's going to be interesting to watch for is that, we're bowling the finals on the low end of the bowling center, which wasn't used all week for the US Open except for the practice range. So these players haven't seen, and that end tends to hook a little bit more, which you would think, could make them possibly a little bit more high scoring, but it also could offer the players a little bit of a different look that could be confusing. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate that, how much that pair plays different from the rest of the house. But again, like you said, the scores were super high in match play. These players are the best players in the world. They really took advantage of the very small amount. I mean, if you look at that pattern right there, it is pretty darn flat. There isn't much help. And you can really see there isn't a lot of volume, to the left. It's basically flat with a tiny strip outside, which these players can throw to and get the ball to hook. And Christian has Kona all week in the match play. If he hit a pair where the gutter hooked, he threw it to the gutter. So it'll be interesting to see if he's trying to throw the ball to the right in that opening match. Jason Sterner's kind of played the hold all week, so we're not going to be able to tell, how much the gutter's hooking by watching him. So Christian's really going to be the one that dictates, what that pair is doing. And again, I think Jason's just been so solid out of the gate. Christian's been a little iffy, and I think Jason gets through that opening match.
Well, now, Aaron Smith, Christian did tell me this week how important speed control was. He needed to stay slow on this pattern. That was absolutely 100% his key to success in taking the lead early in match play. Stay slow. He has never bowled on his TV before. His title came on extra frame, so it was all kind of off the TV lights. How does that change things? How does he keep his heart rate in control and his body calm to be able to keep the ball slow, especially because they're bowling on the fresh here on this 42-foot pattern?
I don't think it's going to be too big of a change for Christian. He did get a national TV appearance in one of the regional finals for the Players Championship. Bowled a great game. I think he caught a rough hit with a stuff 8-pin in there somewhere. So I don't think the nerves are going to be too big for him. But yeah, I think more so how the pair plays for him and kind of what it gives him to start is going to be the determining factor for him, whether he's able to get out of the first game or not, folks. But you know what? Who's going to have a better opinion on this is Mr. Chuck Gardner. So we're going to throw it to Mike Flanagan. And once we finish up with this, we're going to start the first giveaway. So be on the lookout. Giveaway coming up soon. But Mike, what you got?
Yeah, guys, here with Chuck Gardner. Chuck, what do you think about the scoring pace today? And congratulations on having four members of Team Brunswick on the show today.
Yeah, it's been a great week so far, and certainly hope to continue with the great bowling. The guys have bowled really, really well. They bowled smart, and we have great players and great players that are really good with urethane. So I think that gives us a little bit of an advantage when the urethane is in play.
How proud are you of Jason Sterner making both shows?
Well, I'm unbelievably proud of him because of the hard work he's put in and the position he was in before coming into these 2 weeks. He was way down the points list, and now he's going to make the playoffs. So back-to-back major shows, his first 2 major shows in his career, and just a lot of hard work and super proud of him. I love seeing him make the playoffs, the top 16 this year.
Do you think what we're going to see over on the TV player is going to play any differently than what we saw all week long?
I do. They've sat idle a lot since the last show. They've been stripped several times. There's been a lot of work going on over there. So a lot of times it makes the front hook a little bit more because it's never had any oil on it for 7 days. And the lower end of the house typically hooks more anyway. So I think that we'll see. I really wish I had an idea. I think the key is going to be how they play them. If the guys are really, really smart, there's not going to be a ton of practice. So I think if they're really smart and they don't over-surface the bowling balls, I think we'll see some high scores. but we want to make sure they pick up, and it is urethane, so you got to put some surface on it. So I think Jacob, the left lane looks tight on the left to me, and I think it did on the last show. So the left lane looks a little tight on the left, so Jacob might have to throw a flaring urethane ball like the Black Widow.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked really good on the left lane over the practice. Chris I may end up throwing reactive by the time he gets on, because that's what he used at the end of the block. So I look for some pretty high scores to start with if everybody keeps their nerves down. Obviously, it's Christian's first major show. It's Anthony's first show ever. So there may be a few nerves, but they're seasoned bowlers, so they're bowled a lot. I just look for a great day.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. We know you got 4 players you got to get after. So.
Hey, I just want to say thanks to Bowl TV. The coverage has been spectacular these 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much. I've gotten so much positive feedback from my fans and the fans of Brunswick, and talking about how great your coverage has been. So thank you guys for really good coverage. It's fantastic for our sport. Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike. All right, guys. I promised a giveaway. I said it was going to happen after we talked to Chuck Gardner. So let's get it. Giveaway underway. Good luck, everybody. All you have to do is click the submit entry button. If you're in a full screen mode on bowltv.com, feel free to take it out of that for a second. And then you should be able to see the chat and everything. It's time. Good luck. Someone's taking home a Bose speaker courtesy of Bowl TV. All right, we are going to continue on here. Let's bring the lanes back in here. Guys, we see Jason, we see Christian, Jacob relaxing at the moment.
Yeah, there was some interesting stuff there from Chuck that, I hadn't thought about. The other interesting thing, too, is, Chris and Sterner having made shows on this pair, actually not this one that we're watching right now, but a couple lanes over. There might be a little bit of a comfort factor, even though it's a completely different pattern. They kind of got a chance to see what the characteristics of the lanes are. So, Chuck mentioned, one of the lanes maybe hooking a little bit more than the other. So that could come into play with Sterner and Vi. Sterner had a little bit of a rough outing, which we kind of thought was maybe due to his thumb at the Masters on the TV show. But I think he's proved that wasn't the case. Being able to make another show, 56 game format, the hardest tournament, there is. I think it was more just his ability to read that pair, but he's had a chance to kind of understand what the characteristics of that pair are. And, once he gets comfortable with, getting a few shots under his belt and kind of seeing if he sees some similar trends in the way that pair is looking, lane to lane, he might have a leg up in making some quick adjustments and getting through a couple of matches, if not the whole show.
All right, folks, we are right around the 30-minute mark until it is time. FS1 going to be taking over for the show. As we mentioned, Ascona versus Sterner in that opening match. The winner takes on Anthony Nair. Oh, there it is. It's looking great. What a set.
It is. It's beautiful, Aaron. I was down there this morning and took some photos of the trophy, and I promised not to pull a Pete Weber and drop it and break it into a million pieces. So there's that. But yeah, it's you could feel the excitement down there, ready for a live TV show.
In the semifinals, we'll have Buttriff awaiting, then Chris Fye is the top overall seed, 1 win away from the opportunity to win. And we talked about. When we looked at the Masters show last week, we mentioned that there were a lot of guys, who were looking for first victories, looking for, their first victory on TV, first victory stateside. That ended up being Thomas Larson. So Jesper Svensson was really the main guy, but a younger guy. He's got 10 titles. He's won everywhere, but a younger guy to on the show essentially. And Jacob's kind of in that role here, where you kind of look at the overall accolades of these players. Jacob is, only 26, but the most experienced player as far as victories come on the PBA Tour. How much do you think his previous success at not only major championships, but just in general, knowing how to win on TV, knowing how to throw the big shots when he needs them, how much do you believe that's going to come into it today for him to, as we said, after several close calls, there we go, to make this happen for him in just a couple hours?
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge, Aaron. I think, by far on this show, he's got the most experience. He's got a major championship already under his belt. He's bowled for this title twice before. He's on the way to a Hall of Fame career already. And these other folks on the show could be as well. Chris Vi has got off to a fantastic start in his career, but like you said, he's got a lot of demons, on TV, not being able to get that first title, after making a bunch of major shows in a row. So I think Jacob probably does have the advantage in terms of experience and just being calm under the TV lights, and that's a huge deal. Sterner, Ascona, and Nair, they've got to win a bunch of matches, and it's really difficult to navigate transition and the pressure of the US Open over the course of 3 or 4 games, 4 matches against such quality opposition. But again, Chris Vi, he's just bowled so well the last couple of weeks and really the last couple of months, and going back maybe a year and a half, 2 years. It would mean a lot to him to get that first win under his belt, and I think he's got a lot more to come. But if it comes down to a battle of experience and who's got the ability to calm the nerves in the moment, that would definitely have to go to Jacob.
All right, and with that, talking about Chris Vi getting ready for the show today, let's go back to Mike. He's got Hall of Famer Timmy Mack standing by.
The Hall of Famer right here, Timmy Mack. That sounds really good. Hey, Timmy, obviously you guys got Vi as the #1 seed today. What's going to be the key to victory for Vi only having to bowl 1 match?
Well, I think he's bowling as good as he's ever bowled. I mean, this is five major shows, I think, in the last 6 majors for him. So I think the key for him is to stay within himself, understand what ball he wants to use as far as lane transition and what we want to do on the lane. And, I think he's really comfortable, just coming off a major show on this pair last week. He's got some good intel, and that's for him to be ready for whatever comes up against him. But listen, the show goes fast, and he's made a lot of major shows, but he hasn't been in the #1 seed yet. So if he can relax and stay calm and just stick with his process, the guys have worked on all week, which is Jim Callahan and Sean Ryan and myself, I think Chris has got a great chance.
Yeah, he's the only guy that I saw consistently be able to use reactive resin and have success. What do you think he's going to be using over there on the pair?
Well, there's going to be a lot of traffic already, a couple games on there already. So it depends on how far Sterner or Ascona go in the match, because that'll determine how much traffic the righties will see. So I think he feels comfortable with both with the urethane ball and the big asymmetrical ball, which is what he's used all week. So I feel comfortable that he's in a good place and mentally great. I would anticipate that he's going to have a good performance in that match.
It's been a really long couple of weeks here. How great would it be for teams to pull this one out? You guys got one on the show, but you got the most important one, the #1 seed.
Oh, I mean, it'd be unbelievable. Listen, every week when we come out here and we work these events, they're extremely difficult to work. All we can ask from ourselves and our tour team is that we try to vote for the title. You can try to put your team members in that title match. And to Chris's credit, he got it done. He bowled unbelievable, and he deserved to be bowling for this title. And it would cap off an incredibly grueling 2 weeks of major championship bowling. And more importantly, basically the last month, these guys have just been, mentally and physically, everything is just, right inside and right in their minds. So it'll be interesting to see how the show plays out. But I feel very confident that Chris, gets the job done today, gets his first PBA title, and he gets his big first major championship. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Hey, Tim, it's Aaron. Real quick question for you as far as when we look at Chris's previous TV shows in the majors, he's always been in that opening match. What have the talks been like, knowing that he's going to have to wait for the opportunity here? He's going to be in the final match. How are you guys going to kind of tackle that over the course of that hour and a half leading up to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Listen, it's in a position he's never been in before, but I think he's comfortable, being in major championship competition on the show. So I think, we were just having some normal talks just to keep his mind slow, and just, we talked about the Masters of golf. We talked about, some of the stuff at home, what's going on at home. I'll talk about his mom's chocolate chip cookies here coming up in a second, because she's sorely missed her mom, Chris's mom and dad out there. I know, I'm sure going to be watching and pulling for him. But he's a veteran. He's a, I think sometimes it's just your time, and I believe today that it could be Chris's time. So I'm hopeful that he can get the job done. He keeps relaxed over here. Internally, he burns hard, but externally, you really can't read him because he's so quiet and he's so reserved and he's so very soft-spoken, especially for a guy that's got model good looks and got a 12-pack and got a forearm that can knock you out, at any time. So, I mean, listen, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know you guys have been talking about Jacob. That's another guy that's deserving of a U.S. Open title. Jacob Butcher he's been in or near the lead in 3 of the last 5 U.S. Open championships. So he's definitely going to be the guy, obviously, to watch. He's got the most experience when it comes to U.S. Open championship medal. But someone today gets their first U.S. Open, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Timmy, this is Jason Thomas. It's been great seeing you all week, buddy. I've really enjoyed getting to spend some time with you. I'm glad you're doing well. Looking forward to seeing you out bowling again, too. I know you bowled a couple of tournaments. But for Chris, he's had a really good look with urethane and with reactive late in the blocks. Do you think there's any chance, and if so, what would he be looking for in determining whether he throws reactive or urethane on the show today?
Well, I think there's a great chance that he throws reactive on the show. With the additive in the oil, with the red oil out there, and the extra rerun, after they go right back on him after the TV show, if they tighten up a little bit and that urethane ball doesn't go through the pins, I think there's a great opportunity that he can use the reactive ball, and that's why he's the #1 seed. He made the right choices at the right time, and he feels very comfortable with either ball. So when you have that feeling going into a title match that maybe some of the other guys that are on the show don't have because they didn't use the reactive ball, almost at all during the whole week. I feel like that gives us a little bit of an advantage, knowing that if our tour teams decide to make a change for him, and he can flip on the dime, and even if it's in the 8th frame and we need the last 4 or 5 strikes to win, I feel comfortable that if he wants to switch to the reactive, we can do that. So, as I said earlier, when Mike asked me the question, it'll determine on how far the righties go. With Ascona and Sterner, how far they, one of those two progress in the event. Should they go up the ladder? Obviously, there's more transition and more carry down as the urethane ball stretches the pattern a little bit more. If it does that, then that's when the reactive ball come into play for us. But if it doesn't, we'll be comfortable using either the fast pitch or the proton physics. Either way, we'll be comfortable.
All right, Tim, we'll let you get back to it. Mike, thank you again. Tim, best of luck on the show, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys. I just want to say a big shout out to you guys for all the time and effort and the hours you put in this week, these last couple of weeks. It's been an amazing couple of weeks here in Reno. A big shout out to Mike, obviously, for being on the floor, and Matt. And all you guys have just done a fantastic job of showcasing our sport. It's been a privilege to be on the show with you guys and talk to you guys a little bit as well. And I look forward to the next time that you talk to me as a bowler. Hopefully, when I do get a chance to bowl a little bit of these things. But just a big thanks to you guys. So you guys have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, Matt, I know you wanted to come back around on one of the topics as well, so the floor is yours.
Sure. Definitely some additional thoughts on what JT said about experience. Coming down to it, Jacob, yes, absolutely the most experienced on TV, has the titles, has the major championship. But I also think some struggles for him mentally in this case, at this event, especially some past troubles, of course, coming up short twice in the title match, and some previous struggles on TV at times as well. So I think that's a bit of an equalizer. A wild card, Anthony Nyer, of course, has a pair of junior gold titles on TV. So experience there for him. I think personally, when the nerves do set in for this show, it comes down to a single pin spare at some point being the difference in this thing. These guys, we know they can strike. We know they've had the time under the TV lights. I think it comes down to one of those simple miscues being the difference in this event. We've seen at times throughout match play and in those moments, those things happened. And I certainly think a 7-pin or a 4-pin could be the difference in this tournament.
All right, folks. Matthew, thank you. Where we at? We're about 20 minutes out, so we got probably about 15 minutes left of showtime here before we send it over to Rob Stone, to Randy Peterson, to Kimberly Pressler on FS1. But remember, folks, $49.95. They told us keep it open for a little bit longer, so you can pick up a year of Bowl TV for $49.95. But the hours are running thin on that. But we'll be right back. We'll take a quick look at all you can get for that $49.95 price point for a year of Bowl TV.
How about a channel match? Oh my goodness. And there it is.
There it is, folks. $49.95. Such a catchy song too, JT. Gotta love it. Gotta love the tunes.
I'm pumped. I'm ready to do the next event already. This one's not even over yet.
And folks, if you go to bowltv.com, if you click on Join Bowl TV, we will go ahead and or you can go ahead and pick it up right there. So bowltv.com, find the Join Bowl TV channel. That'll take care of everything you need right there. Folks, in the chat here on Bowl TV, we saw Mama Vi. She stopped in. She said hello. So she said they were cheering. So that's awesome. So best of luck. I hope everyone's having a good time in Ohio. Hoping it's a big watch party. But I think we got another chance to talk to Mr. Mike Flanagan, and he has Jacob Buttriff coming up next. Mike, welcome and take it away.
Yeah, guys, I was able to grab Jacob before he's got to get out there and practice. Jacob, you are no stranger to the U.S. Open. Talk a little bit about how this one's different. You know, you're not the number one seed this time, and your game plan going into what's going to happen over there on the lanes.
So, obviously, not being the number one seed, Chris passed me the last game of the position round. He bowled phenomenal in match play, so I would definitely say he earned it. But at the same time, we still got to bowl your games to go out there and win. Strategy, just try to stay as straight as I possibly can. It's paid off pretty much this whole week, staying on top of the gutter for as long as I can, and just go out there and let the lanes talk to me as well.
Your bowling balls that you're going to use, is it going to be 100% urethane today?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a look with one reactive ball, but the black widow urethane, the purple urethane, obviously were my best looks all week, so just kind of try to stick with those.
Yeah, the Black Widow has a bigger core, an asymmetric core in it, and Chuck Gardner told us that it looked better on the left lane for you. Do you think that'll be the ball on the left lane?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they're really in the lanes, but when I was practicing over there, the black widow urethane was going through the pins a lot better. The purple was just not enough energy going through the pins. So, there's a high chance that you'll be seeing me throw the black widow urethane on the left lane today.
We know this one snake bit you a little bit in the championship matches. Now that you've got two games you have to win, if you can get through that first one, do you think you'll be more comfortable in the title match?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to depend on like how good I bowl the first game and if I get out of it. But at the same time, I like just letting the lanes talk to me. I'm definitely going to feel a lot more confident knowing that all the pressure is not going to be there being the number 1 seed.
You're a major
Jacob,
champion, buddy. I think Jason Thomas has a question for you, though.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Jacob, is there a little part of you that was maybe a little happy? I know you always want to lead the tournament, but you've had a couple of rough goes. You bowled well, but is there a little part of you that's happy that you're the 2 seed, and if you do make it into that final, you have a nice look going in?
The part of me is like, the pressure's not there because of past history. But the thing about it is that knowing that you're the top seed, you only have to bowl 1 game in order to win. But past history, being the top seed hasn't worked out for me. So hopefully that'll change today, being the number 2 seed.
All right, Jacob. Well, good luck out there today, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, Jacob.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Mike Flanagan talking with Jacob Butcher, the 2-time runner-up at the U.S. Open. And folks, about 10 minutes out to the end of our show, about 15 to our to the main show, to the FS1 show, 2 p.m. Eastern is going to be the start time. We have one more giveaway to give out. We got some Sony wireless headphones on Bowl TV. That's the only place you can get them. So if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. But bowltv.com is the place to be. We'll give you a couple more minutes before we give those out. So you can head over there, create a login. You just need that to watch on Bowl TV for today. But yeah, that's what we got. Guys, we are so close. This is unbelievable. Our 2-week stretch in Reno, or your 2-week stretch in Reno, mine in this room and Matt's in his room. We talked about it, and the last thing I kind of want to get to before we give this giveaway, we get to the show. We talked about our predictions. We'll bring Mike in for this as well at the end. Reno MVPs. If we have a first team all Reno from these last 2 weeks, the Masters and the U.S. Open. If you had to pick 5 players who were just outstanding to watch, so fun to watch over the course of both of these events, who do you guys have kind of in that mix? Not knowing, obviously, who's going to win the U.S. Open yet, but who are the players who just impressed you over the course of both events?
I'll go ahead and start. I have one. He didn't make either of the shows here, but man, he bowled great both weeks. And his name's Sam Cooley. Just came up a little short in both tournaments. Finished just outside the show, but man, I was super impressed with what he can do to a bowling ball. He was slow hooking it. He was hitting it hard. He was throwing it hard. He was doing everything. And I think he's a very complete player. He got his first win just a few months back on the PBA Tour, and I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of him in the future.
Matt, go ahead.
All right. Well, obviously, making 2 shows, I think Chris Vi and Jason Sterner both would have spots on that all-tournament team. Their performances, of course, support that. And I think Thomas Larson as well, winning the Masters. He had a total command of the oil pattern, had some great scores throughout all the matches, the highest scoring matches. And he made match play at the U.S. Open as well. And then Sam Cooley, you can't argue with that. 2 6th-place finishes, I think deserves a spot in there as well.
All right, we're going to throw it back to the set here for a quick second, then we'll bring Mike back in for his thoughts. So, Mike, who have you been impressed by over the course of these 2 weeks in Reno? Who deserves a spot on that all-tournament team?
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious pick for me, but it's Jason Sterner, and he's my pick to win today. Obviously, he made both shows, but, I think Jason Sterner, he's really worked. He's been a practicer his entire career, but the other thing that he's got is, he's been working out, and his girlfriend, Heather D'Erico, they are totally hooked up when it comes to nutrition, and he told me that his legs were feeling it down the stretch. And if his legs are feeling it, then the guys that don't have the same workout regimen that he does and the nutritional balance in his life, they're going to be feeling it. So making 2 shows is incredible. And Jason Sterner, not being a big power player, being able to do that, Jason Sterner is the guy that comes to mind first and foremost.
All right, some excellent choices there, guys. I wouldn't argue with any of those. I'd be remiss not to give a shout out to two other individuals who had great performances. Hopefully, making the next step, the leaps in their career. Zeke Bate and Tim Foy Jr. as well. They were impressive in both events, making great runs, long runs. Zeke, almost making a run at the show here as well, heading into those final 3 or 4 games. So just a big congratulations to those guys as well for a phenomenal week in Reno, or weeks, multiple.
And the Gladiators enter the set. Here it is. It's coming down, guys. This is going to happen.
Let's go full screen on that. And for the folks watching, it's going to be time. We're going to start this giveaway. It's going to be Sony wireless headphones, same way as before. If you're watching on bowltv.com, this will be the final giveaway for the pregame show. All you have to do is click submit entry. So good luck, everybody. Someone's taking home Sony wireless headphones, courtesy of Bowl TV.
Guys, I want to say one last thing before we get into the actual show. This week to me has felt really like a changing of the guard. We had Pete Weber and Walter Ray Williams, who have both been very dominant in this event. Pete Weber, the most dominant player in this event, retire just prior to the Masters and the U.S. Open, and they weren't here. And I really feel like this group of finalists that have made it to the show today represents kind of the changing of the guard on tour. Chris Vi is the next big star on tour. He's got all the tools. He's been predicted to be a star for a long time. He's come up through the competitive ladder from junior gold to collegiate to Team USA. And now here he is on the cusp of winning, the U.S. Open, the biggest and hardest tournament to win in the sport. But we've also got Anthony Nyer, who, could become the youngest person ever to win the U.S. Open. I mean, that's incredible, considering this is the 77th edition of this storied event. And this gentleman could be the youngest ever to win it. Again, another person who's gone through the entire program, from junior gold all the way up into Team USA, junior Team USA, and could have a dream come true at the tender age of 18. Jacob Buttriff, he could cement basically Hall of Fame status if he were to win today. This would be his second major that would qualify him for Hall of Fame status. And Jason Sterner's just been a really great journeyman player for a long time. Super nice guy, one of the most popular guys on tour. So if he were to win today, it would be fantastic. And Christian Azcona, a player from Puerto Rico who could become the first player from Puerto Rico to win the U.S. Open today. So as Matt set up excellently, is that a word? Excellently earlier. So many great storylines, but it really does feel like a changing of the guard here today.
Certainly does. The youth movement strong on the professional ranks of the PBA Tour, the 5th major of 2021, the U.S. Open. Folks, it's less than 10 minutes away. We got Mike's going to attempt to potentially try to get Chris Vi for us real quick before we sign off here. But before we do, it's not just actually, it looks like he's going to have him right now. So we'll go ahead and get to that first. All right. So Mike, give us a thumbs up if you're ready. He looks ready to go. So we'll bring him and our top seed, Chris Vi, into the show. Take it away.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm here with Chris Vi. Chris, man, awesome bowling this week. I was actually commenting on your jerseys, how awesome your jerseys look. But man, you put it all together this week. This has been the week for you. One game to go. Tell everybody at home and our Bowl TV team just a little bit about what you're thinking about this morning and what's going to happen over there on the lanes when you move over there.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously I've been bowling pretty well, especially on this pattern. So just kind of keeping the same game plan, and hopefully it plays the same on the show as it has all week. And yeah, hopefully you got one game and try to make the most of it.
You keep your emotions in check big time. I mean, you probably do it better than anybody. you've actually been criticized by some people on social media because you're so young and people just want to see you go crazy. You know, Pete Weber retired, and you've got a powerful strike ball. What is it about your emotions that's keeping you in check? And would we see, if you happen to win, I know you don't want to think that far ahead, but would we see some emotion come out today?
Yeah, I think it's just my personality in general. It's kind of the way I am about everything in life. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, if I were to win today, that might change a little bit. But, you know, we'll see if that time comes. And, yeah, I wouldn't mind letting loose a little bit.
We'd like to see that for sure.
Hey, Chris, this is Jason Thomas. Good luck out there today, buddy. But I got a question. We talked to Tim Mack. You've had a great look with both reactive and with urethane, obviously reactive later. And I'm sure you'll do whatever you feel like is your best bet. But what would you prefer to throw in that title match?
Honestly, either. I feel like my look is just as good with both. It's just kind of depending on what the guys do in front of me and how the lane breaks down. If they get a little tighter down lane, I need to throw reactive to put up a big score. And urethane, I can just kind of control the pocket a bit better. And if I can get that to shape down lane, then I'll probably end up throwing that. So it's just going to be how tight they get down lane, and that'll basically be the decision maker.
Gotcha. Thanks, Chris. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Good luck, Chris. All right, folks. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's countdown time. So big thanks to Mike for getting those in-depth interviews with the players, with the ball reps prior to the start of the show. But we have so many people to thank for making this happen this week at the U.S. Open. So a big thank you to USBC, the BPAA, and Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider, on site at the NBS, Rob Gottschall, Greg Moore, Damon Sirocco, Brandy Silva, Caitlin Nelson, Chip and Robin Aki for their tireless effort this week at the National Bowling Stadium. Of course, the NBS staff as well, the RSCVA and the Row are great partners in Reno. And, we're working remotely as well. So a lot of folks to thank here from the International Bowling Campus, Roger Nordhook, Kate Klepetka, Reagan Beverly, Aaron Morgan, Andrew Salaveria, Brock Kowalski, Kelly Willoughby, Kim Richter, who's been helping out on social media all week. And then last but certainly not least, the Bowl TV team of Mike Flanagan, Matt Cannizzaro, Jason Thomas, and Aaron Smith. Guys, we made it. We got a show to get to, but it's time. FS1. We'll be back after the show. But guys, just thanks again for everything this week.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, guys. Let's do this.
All right, folks. You heard the man. We're signing off. Head over to FS1. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, and Kimberly Pressler will be taking it away. So for us, we'll see you after in the post-game show. But folks, thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the show. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. We'll see you soon.